I've just fitted a Scottoiler V-System to my hire bikes. Reason being, on my Tuono and my Diavel, I look after the chain. On the hire bikes, I tend to neglect them a little bit because they're just workhorses to me. So when they've been out in the rain for 2 or 3 days, they get very dry. When they get dry, they get hot, and when they get hot, they stretch. So Scottoiler claim that it can make your chain life extend by up to 7 times, which, when you bear in mind that fitted to a 600cc a chain and sprockets, you're looking at £120 plus. That certainly works out at a bit of a bargain, really. So the Scottoiler is an oiling system that works off the vacuum system of your engine. Once you've put the wire in place, or the vacuum pipe in place, every time you rev the bike, the vacuum increases, and that allows the Scottoiler to lift the tube inside and feed the oil down onto your chain. I did a bit of research, and the Scottoiler started up in about 85, and it was in about 88ish I bought a system, and I wasn't that happy with it. And the main reason being, A, I forgot to fill up the reservoir, so that's my fault. And B, I didn't like the way that the pipe only lubricated one side of the chain. The claims they had was that the oil was, I think it was thixotropic or something, which meant that it was stringy and it worked its way across the chain, but I still found that the inside links ended up dry, and that's not good. So when I did the research this time, they've come out with a new pipe. It's called a dual feed. And what that does is it goes either side of the sprocket and lubricates both sides of the chain now. So now they've done that, I think it's worth trying them again. So I've bought the V-System for the Bandit and for the GSR, and they recommend that you clean the chain first. If your chain's already towards the end of its life, they'd probably recommend you change your chain and sprockets and start afresh. But luckily my chain is in pretty decent condition once I cleaned all the crud and cack off it. So I cut the vacuum pipe that goes between the carburetors and the diaphragm on the tank, and then fitted the little T-piece that they give you, so it spurs off the vacuum pipe now. Watch this, watch, don't creep. Oh, creepers! Anywho. And then fed that over and mounting the system. This is really clever. If you go onto their website and you put in the model of your bike, they've done all the research and they give you the suggestions on the best place to mount the reservoir, which I think is a really good idea. Rather than you looking around thinking, where can I put this, they found the best place to put it already. So that's really impressive. Once you've done that, you just feed the pipe down the side of the frame, and then you can use the sticky pads that are supplied by them, or you can even use the cable ties. They give you plenty of cable ties. And I've also got some left over, which is quite good. Then once you've bled the system, quite clearly tells you how to do it in the instructions, and the oil's all the way down the pipe. Then it can come out of the dual feed onto the chain. For the first few days I had it turned up quite a lot and it used quite a lot of oil, but even though it did that, it still didn't fling any oil onto the tyre, as a couple of people have claimed. And I'm wondering, maybe that's because they might not have fed the feed pipe into the correct part of the sprocket. I don't know. But even with it using a whole reservoir in just over a week, it still didn't pour any out onto the back tyre. Thank you. Not that they can hear me. There you go, little wave. So anyway, I've had it on a couple of weeks now, and the chain still looks new and clean, and I'm really, really impressed with it. There are cheaper systems out there that work in different ways, but I've not tried them. But I'm a big believer in you get what you pay for. And I'm in a fortunate position where I can afford these things. And if you look around, you get them at the right sort of price as well. So now it's all fitted, I just need to make sure that I keep the reservoir topped up. And I think it's going to make my chain last quite a while on both those bikes. So if you're ever thinking of getting a Scottoiler, before I'd have probably said no because of the single feed, but now with this dual feed I'm definitely impressed with it. So big recommendation and a thumbs up on that. So why don't you pop along to the Scottoiler website that I've put in the description, have a look, put your make and model of bike into their little drop down boxes on the site, and see if they've got a recommendation on how to mount it on your bike. Might even fit one to my Pan-European.